Of course. Hi. I'm alone. Oh, anyway, looks like it's pretty. Okay, so that's on there. I'm just not sure about all this business. Just seems a little bit slow. I'm gonna hope this helps. I'm closing a lot of tabs. If it doesn't help, then I am going to start a new stream, I guess. Yay. The littlest things that shouldn't take very long, a lot of times. Energies, technical issues, little dark energies, whatever, however you want to put it. Things take so much longer than they should. Why am I doing this? I can't even touch it. Seriously. That worked? I think that worked. I had a lot of tabs open and it was running really slow. I don't have anything else on right now, but I am really tingly and that doesn't help for me. And that's why it takes long for me to do things. My phone, sometimes I can't even touch it. I have to put it down. And finally I got a stylist. Or stylist, I should say stylist. Yeah, I got a stylist. I got a stylist. So, isn't that cute? So I could put my phone down and not even have to touch it because there's times where my energy is, I'm vibrating. I'm just tingly. When I first started tingling when I was in my mid 20s, I had no idea what was going on. It was really uncomfortable. And I've gotten used to it now. Like I'm just always tingling. It's just levels of tingles. When I start connecting with people and doing channeling and readings and stuff like that, when I meditate, I'm really super tingly. Right now, I'm really super tingly. And I feel like I'm kind of a wreck just because I've been running around like a crazy person today. This day has gone by really fast. So was yesterday. Really fast days. Tomorrow is the 27th. right when I look at the time on the recording and it says 5:27. If you follow me, if you follow my Instagram, which I'm going to put what am I doing? I am putting a oh, I was supposed to be on Instagram too. It took me forever just to get on, and this isn't charging. I'm having trouble with this not charging. I was supposed to be on Instagram and YouTube at the same time, but it took forever for me to post and say that I was going to be on, and then to get it even set up, it was like, forget it. And it's not like I had all the notice in the world either. I'm going to try to work, since I work with energy, I'm going to try to work on like just holding my phone and charging it. It almost seems like I have the opposite effect, that like my energy is, there we go. Especially if I am, with 8:18. Why is it doing that? My phone is just doing the weirdest things today. So the purpose of this feed is because the full moon, it was officially the full moon last night at like 4 in the morning or something. So we're almost in a 24-hour cycle with the full moon. And it's been, oh yeah, that's what I was going to do, go live. Like, oh my god. I need to put this on my phone. I just decided I was going to go, because I barely, I don't even, I think I have like 1 or 2 subscribers here on YouTube. I really don't have that many, but I have a lot more. The thing that sucks is to try to have this sit with this thing. It's just, the design of this is like, really, Apple? Really? You're so smart and you did this? Like, really? How did this pass so many designs and whatever? I just don't understand. I don't understand a lot of things. That's freaking, I'm sure. Bear with me. There we go. Oh, and you can't even see it on there. I am live. Yay. Okay, so I'm live on YouTube, and Instagram. We'll try to be one as possible. There we go. So I decided to go live tonight, well, with the encouragement of my tribe, and talk about this full moon. Hello, it's kind of hard to see as people come in, because the way I have to set up my phone with the whole charger thing, but hello. I think that's Scott. Is that you, Scott? Pretty sure that's you. I just took my glasses off because they got all smudged. But it was an impromptu decision to do this. Not sort of. A few days ago, was guided to go live in the mornings when I wake up. And then my couple next mornings, before I was even out of bed, I was on calls with clients, and I was like, okay, well, so much for that. And then eventually I went live at some other point, it seemed like. So and then this morning, I can't even remember. So this was kind of a 2-for-1 as far as going live today, and then talking about this full moon that's today. Well, it's been the last. Hello. I think I have another person. So we're talking about the full moon and energies that have been going on. And if you are in the know with this stuff, it's been ramping up. And it started with, well, to say it started at a specific time is really difficult to pinpoint. In my mind, when things really started was last year for that big fat eclipse. Hello, thank you for joining. The big eclipse, the American Great Eclipse. So for me, that's when things really, really started, was last year. Oh, thank you so much. I like going live too. It helps me, it helps other people. I get information and it's really cool. So I'll get very impromptu. Let's go live. Let's talk about stuff. You're not the, sorry, it's one of my birds. I'm also live on YouTube. So if you are on YouTube, if you watch YouTube, which I'm pretty sure most people do, I have a YouTube channel. I'm live on YouTube as well. I am Infiniti, and it is Infinite Love Energy on there. So if you can subscribe to me on YouTube, that would be great too, because sometimes I just go on YouTube because what is this we're on? Instagram is here, so I'm on both. So Instagram, they don't keep them. They disappear, and I don't like that. I like to have them there because I'll get channelings, I will work with cards, I'll get all sorts of information. People ask questions that I think are pertinent for other people to know and to learn about at a later time. And so I do love Instagram, and I wish they would change this. I really, really do, because it drives me absolutely bonkers. So I go on YouTube a lot more. I do that when there's stuff in the sky. I do that when usually I do that a lot, because at some point, all of these videos and all of these photos that I take are going to be looked at quite closely by a lot of people. And when I used to just do the photos, I'm talking about the clouds, and being able to, for me to perceive and see what is pressed up against the clouds in the other dimensions. Okay, so there'll be angels, archangels, dragons, the dark side, nasty things as well. And if you've seen my feed, you've seen some of that. And some people go, oh, I'm not really sure what people think, but at some point it's going to be really obvious that this is not what something looks like, but actually what it is. And so anyway, I was talking about, so today's full moon, tomorrow's the 27th. Last 27th was the full moon. So we're off by just actually a few hours from a whole month. Before that was the 7-7 gate. And then if we go back a whole year, it would be the eclipse. And I have been getting a lot of information for several months now about, oh, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad they're helping. That really helps me to know that. So I'm glad that they're helping. So 727, wait, what did I just say? Oh, I can't even. Is it 8? Is it? Oh, it's almost 8:27. That's what I was just getting guided to look at. I don't have my glasses on. I could barely see the time. My phone is being used, and it's like, what time is it? Pay attention to the time. I am in California, so it is 8:26 right now. It's about to turn 8:27, and there's been this thing with the number 727, 27, 227, and these are all. Oh, Brazil. Oh, I've never been there. But I'd love to go someday. So when did it start? It started, I think in March and April, and then it really ramped up in May. And finally, I'm talking about this 27 thing because I just looked at 1627 on our YouTube, on the YouTube feed. I have nobody there, but I'm recording this for YouTube as well. So it took me a while to understand that it was like 727, 227, and then the combination of the two. And it would be not just the time, but how long I was talking to people, the times that I would get emails or on receipts, or, oh, speaking of receipts, this one, where are you? This should be today's. Yeah. So for the last few months, I been seeing 727 and 27, and so finally, after tarot cards and just in so many different ways, numbers can be shown to you: receipts, times, emails. I mean, tarot cards as they land. It's just like on and 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 on. So I decided, and this is something I learned, okay, if you don't know about this, this is something that you can do. If either you get phrases popping in or numbers, not like every number you see, but something that sticks, something that gets your attention, right? Something that you keep seeing over and over and over again. That's definitely a synchronistic code for you to pay attention to. Most people start seeing 1111 first. That's the first activation code, and that's also why in case you don't know, if you haven't seen my website, and I don't really explain this all the time, but I spell my name with the I at the end because it's 4 ones as well. Look at what I got today for free. I'm just going to share this really quick because I just pulled it out of I totally forgot about it. I just pulled it out of my purse. This is absolutely ridiculously gorgeous. Somebody gave that to me. Okay, so the numbers definitely mean things, and you can, this is what I was going to tell you, sorry to be all over the place, you can Google. So you can, whatever comes, you can just Google things. The first few number codes, was an 1111 for me. It wasn't, actually. I saw that way later. It was 1213 and 1234 for many years. Every day, both of those sets of numbers, I know they're really close to each other, but it is what it is. 1234 and 1213. 1213 is my birthday, and 1234 is a message that there is a plan to your life. So if you see sequential numbers, but especially when it starts 1, 2, 3, 4, if you start seeing that a lot, that's what that means. Okay, so months ago, the 727 or 27 or 227 that combination. And so finally, I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in. And then I was channeled, look it up and look up 727 and cosmic dates, or you can look up astrological dates. And it came up as 727 of 18. And this was a few months before. So it took me a while to get even to, I don't know, I wasn't quite sure what it all meant to begin with. And I'm kind of new to this stuff too. I haven't been doing this sort of thing for a super long time. And it's a form of prophecy and premonition. And I've been doing these things my whole life, but I've never been so tapped in to where I am. Just saw 27 again, seriously. If I had $1 for every 27 I've seen in the last just week, it would be probably, I'm not exaggerating, it would be just in the last week, I would say I've probably seen at least 300 or 300 different 727s or 27s. That's a lot. And maybe more, I don't know. It's just all the time. To the point where it's overwhelming. And it kind of hurts my head. It kind of hurts my head because I've known for a long time that the 27th was a big deal. And when I found out, when I Googled and I put in astrological cosmic 727, July 27th, I didn't know if it was what year that could have been. It was just 727. Well, it turns out it was this year, and it was the eclipse we just had on 727. It was a full blood moon. This last couple of full moons, but this last one specifically, there are so many different things going on astrologically at the same time as that full moon, and this one as well. And it was an eclipse. Okay, so a couple weeks before we had a solar eclipse. Then we had the 727 lunar eclipse, the full blood moon lunar eclipse. Then we had the 8/8 Lionsgate portal on August 8th. Then we had the 8/18 closing off of the 8/8 Lionsgate. So we're in that thrusting into landing into a new timeline on 8/18. It takes 10 days every single month to go from start of timeline to landing in timeline. So that period is pretty intense. And then, hi, come up here. Up. And then we had, okay, so that was 8/18. So then we had 8/18. That was very, very intense. That day, I was so heavy. The energy was heavy. Nicole and I actually talk about it. It was 2 days or the day after we did her healing. So it was good timing for that because she was already in a transitional period anyway. But it was really intense. It's like really intense. And so that was the 18th. And so here's the thing. I thought that after 727, when I'd been getting all this 727 for months and it was the eclipse, that was something really significant. And I was also getting a lot of imagery about volcanoes. And this is when the only volcano that had done any kind of activity was the one in Hawaii. And I was like, okay, there's going to be much more volcanic activity because of all the information I was getting. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. So I hope this is making sense. I'm just trying to piece this together because I thought that after the eclipse that I wasn't going to be seeing 727s or 27s anymore. I thought that, okay, well, and then I knew that there was going to be an upsurge in volcanic activity. And I predicted that things were going to get more intense in Hawaii instead of it calming down. And here we are months later, it's still going strong. It has not stopped at all. And then after that, there was Guatemala. And then after that, it was Indonesia. And then after that, so it's just one volcano after another volcano after another volcano. And aside from that, the fires and everything. And so what's that all about is basically the ascension process of our planet, her raising her vibration and things shifting and changing and all of this. But what I came to find out after 727 that was really interesting was we weren't done with 727. It was a starting point. Well, another how do you put it? Another, not really a starting point, but another piece in the puzzle, I guess you could say. That eclipse, the full moon, almost exactly a month ago, was kind of like when you push a button, it activates, and then you release the button, and then things start happening, you know? And in some cases. And that's kind of what I was shown was no, it wasn't that something was going to happen that day. It was that it was going to be a trigger for things to come. And as this time has gone on, it has been way more intense with fires, with and that was the other thing too. It was all the imagery I was seeing was a shit ton of fire, so much fire imagery. And I live in the mountains, and so it's a little scary to feel that. But it was a lot of fire, and it was a lot of volcano. Not so much earthquake stuff. I know other people were feeling earthquake stuff, and they are tied together for sure. Earthquakes and volcanoes are absolutely tied together. There's the whole what's it called? The fire zone or whatever it is on the whole Pacific Rim. Basically of all these the fault zones and the volcanoes are all in the same spots and stuff. And so along this whole side of the world, basically. And but these last few days, the 727 thing, or me getting imagery, all this stuff about 727 has been really ramped up. I don't know how else you can put it. And I feel like something big is going to happen. Maybe not exactly tomorrow, but in the next couple of days. Just in the last, what was the report I saw? It was like just in the last, at this point, maybe 40 hours, We've had 70 something earthquakes in the Pacific. The fire zone is what they call it something like that. I know I'm not saying it right because I'm tired and it's not coming to me, but this whole area that goes from the Pacific all up like southern or South America, up through California, through all of Western United States, up into Canada and back down. There's this whole area. And other parts of the world too. It's not just that part, but anyway, all over the world and in this area, there's been a bunch of earthquakes, big earthquakes, not just little earthquakes, but big earthquakes. And as well as a lot more volcanic activity. So there's been all that stuff going on too. And so I've been told that we should pay attention, that regardless, I've asked what's going to happen, where is it going to take, where is this big something going to happen? I think it's going to be on the northern half of the planet, and I'm thinking maybe up in Canada, but I'm not totally positive. When I first felt it pinpoint for me, it was someplace where I looked and there's not even volcanoes there. So it's really confusing to me. But it was on the opposite side, on the eastern side, eastern, like northeastern of like up in between Canada and Alaska, actually. But I don't know. I don't know. I have a real feeling that there is going to be something, and it is going to be triggered again on the 27th, which is tomorrow. Hello. So I am talking about the full moon that was last month. That is my dove, by the way. Kind of goes on. And then today being the full moon, and me just getting a ton, like seriously, a ton of number codes with 727. So much so that today, in fact, usually it's in like the change portion or like on the time, all the time. Seconds and times all the time. I've even posted a few of them lately because I've seen it so much. And I know that it doesn't just have to do with a date, because I was guided to look up the significance of 27 in religious and biblical works. And it is a very specific number, and it comes up a lot. And those who work with me are very closely tied into very specific things that have to do with 27 and just the whole number 727. So it has kind of multi-layered meanings, but it's kind of meant to, because it's a really big deal number and dates. These full moons on these dates around on 27 and around the 27th is not coincidental, period. Anyway, so this is a receipt from today. I am first going to show Instagram. Let's see what I can do here. So this is, there's the date. If you can see it right here. There's the 26th. And my total before I took cash back was $70.27. You guys see that? So I'm like there today, and it all comes to that. It was way more than I anticipated to spend, but and as it's dinging up and up and up, I'm going, oh goodness, I am so bad at math when I pull things and put it in my cart, because that's like $30 more than I was ever hoping to spend there. But I got a bunch of really cool stuff that I don't usually get, and I'm really trying to go vegan, so I'm trying to cut out sour cream and any kind of like cheese and sour creams, and like I don't even eat yogurt anymore, and I don't know. I don't drink milk anymore. I'm just trying to go vegan completely as much as I can. And so dairy is like the last hump. So replacing dairy stuff with good tasting non-dairy stuff is not easy. And so there was some stuff there today. It looked really good, and I picked up some of that stuff. And anyway, it came to $7.27, and I literally like was standing there, and I go, "Oh my God!" And the girl at the checkout, she's kind of like, okay. And I go, and I'm just standing there just going, I could show you so many receipts that have $7.27, and not just in the total or the subtotal, but in the codes and these funky like there's transaction numbers, and they will come up all the time. Just sequential numbers. Oh, here we go, like 11, 7, 8. It happens all the time. But the most important thing about this one on the 26th was that all these things, and as it's dinging through, this is what I was going to say, as all these things are dinging through and I'm seeing it go up 50, 55, 60, 65, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to have to start picking and choosing what I'm putting back, because I don't want to spend all this money right now. And then it comes up to $7.27, and I hear my guides go, yeah, you're not putting anything back. You're taking all of that. I go, okay. So I've seen $7.27 yet again. And all day I've been feeling a little like a deer in headlights, because, hello, I'm not sure who's still here. It keeps saying people are coming, but it says nobody's here, so I have no idea who's here. I'm just kind of talking to myself, it feels like. But all day and yesterday and the day before, it's felt to me very much like it's just inevitable. The inevitability of something going on, something large, something not, I would say, cataclysmic, because it's not going to be like that. But it is going to be jarring, I think, what's coming. And I know that a lot of people have this sort of, oh, really? Are we done? I'm not about that. That's bizarre. What's going on? I got a phone call, and I made it go away, but all I see is a black screen. Oh, no, I'm really messing things up everywhere. So let's just see. Is don't even know if anyone's there. Is anyone here? Nobody's talking to me. And my screen is black. Hello? Hello? No, actually, I thought I signed out. Actually. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm not sure what happened before. Okay, so now I'm back live on Instagram. So I was just talking about 727, the full moon, the eclipse last year, the eclipse last month, all of these things meaning things, me getting all of these messages about 727. I thought that was going to be the end of it, but it was not. And then I was told it wasn't just 727. It's a trigger. It's the starting point for more to come. And so these last couple days, as we're coming up upon a month and another full moon like we're having today, it has been like, it's like going from 2 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour, you know, just more and more and more, faster, faster, faster with these messages and so on and so forth. And oh my gosh, it is just like being told that something really intense and big and earth changing, life changing, people having completely different experiences in, or from this point forward, it is kind of a big deal. But at the same time, it's like just being also frustrated that I don't know precise information. So I have struggled over these last several days about even talking about it because I don't know exactly what's going to happen, where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I know that things were triggered on the 27th of last month, and I know that with this full moon, it's another trigger. And I don't know. Hi, you're back. I don't know if you were there before. I don't know when I lost people or when I didn't. Hello. But I know that something is happening and happening very soon. I'm glad you're back. I don't know when I lost people. I will be right back. My cat really wants in, and I want my bird to be quiet. So, with all of that said, and more happening today. Thanks for bearing with me. And more happening today. And just getting encouraged to come on and go live and talk about this because, you know, I understood too that even if I knew exactly when, exactly where, what could I do about it? You know, what are you drinking? Oh, well, I'm drinking chunky mild salsa. No, this is a, I keep jars as glasses. I like jars. They're free and I recycle them and I use them. I also make fruit infused water. So I don't know if you see my fruit infused waters, but hello. So that's what that is. But in here I have it's called Ripple and it's made from peas and it's chocolate flavored and it's has a lot of protein and hello, silent 9856. If you want to give me your name, that'd be cool, but you don't have to. So just talking about the full moon energies that I've been feeling. So I just wanted I needed to get that out about 727. I know for a fact something is happening. And something's been happening all over the place. It's really interesting. We had this total lull in earthquakes for a few days, like barely any, to a point where it was weird that we had so few earthquakes. And then it just like 70 something in a very short amount of time. And all the volcanoes and stuff. So I just wanted to, you know, I needed to talk about it. And it's not about I want to be wrong. Let me just say that. I don't think any prophet in any way. I think Nostradamus is probably, and I've always been obsessed with Nostradamus. I'm just going to say that. I'm just, ever since I learned there was a Nostradamus as a prophet, I've always been interested in prophets, even before I understood that I am one and a messenger and all that, and psychic and clairvoyant and a channel and a medium. And if you've seen my other videos or whatever, have talked to me, I am the real deal. I'm a real psychic, physical, empath, medium channel, natural energy healer. I can heal people across the globe and animals. I can put my hands on people and animals and find when they're in pain, and I can make that go away. So when I get repeating numbers and so on and so forth, when I keep seeing, hello, Samir, when I keep seeing things coming up over and over and over and over again, it gets my attention. And when I look up on Google and it says, oh, this is the day, that this is the number, this is what's all connected, Google is extremely helpful when you're psychic. It took me a while to get that because I kept getting all of these things coming at me and I was like, oh, if I only knew what it meant. And then finally it came through to me like, well, Google it. And I thought, Google it? That's weird. And a whole new world opened up to me that I had no idea. And this is, I mean, obviously I knew about Google. I'm talking about on a spiritual level, you know? Google or whatever, search it. Not affiliated with Google, but you know what I'm saying. Put in, if you keep seeing the same numbers over and over again, put it in Google. What does this mean? Angel number, whatever, 628, or if that's your, I mean, they don't have to be sequential. They don't have to be like pretty. It could be just but they're personal. They mean something. And then when they're dates and they're tied to cosmic events, then that's on a whole other level. And I can't even. I'm still learning. I'm still wanting to get things clear, and I know that I'm getting a lot of information in my sleep. I wake up at very specific times. The other day, oh, what day was it? I think it was the 18, 19, 20. I think it was the 20th when I did my video with Nicole that's on my website. It was her post healing interview. And that morning in the middle of the night, I think I woke up at 2:22. I was still awake at 3:33. I was posting about 2:22 and 3:33 when I saw 4:44. That day, I saw so many number codes, and it feels as though after this healing that I did with her, that it was just through the Lion's Gate. The close of the Lion's Gate on the 18th was just a really big deal. And so with this full moon coming up, with all of these things that have happened and transpired in the last year from the eclipse last year, hi. I'm sorry I'm not like saying hi to everybody with these waves, but I'm literally afraid to touch my phone. It's going to tip over. But just to let you guys know, I'm also live on YouTube. I don't have anybody watching me because it's a brand new channel, and I think I have like 2 subscribers, if that. But I go live, just so all you guys know who's still here, I go live on YouTube a lot more often than I go live on Instagram, because Instagram doesn't keep them, and obviously YouTube does. And I like to have my feeds saved, because as this was going on and I was deciding to come online and to talk about 727 and talk about the full moon today, I'm also compelled to work with some tarot cards. And so I just wanted to get that out of the way, talk about this in the beginning. And so everybody who's here, who may come and watch this later, can understand kind of where I'm coming from with the whole full moon. And see, there's glare. That's annoying. Well, at some point I'm going to need to read, but I don't have to right now. Hi, Kitty. Hi, little fancy hunt. Isn't she gorgeous? So pretty. So, actually, what's interesting is I was compelled, and my YouTube channel name, it is Infinite Love Energy. So that you should find it, Infinite Love Energy. You can also look for Infiniti, the way that I spell it, with an I at the end. It says right here, it says, why are you doing that? Oh, why are you doing that? If I could just go there, that would be nice. Did that work? Because I'm trying, it's just Infinite Love Energy. You should find it like that. Please let me know if you don't. I've actually never tried to search for myself. That's the name of my channel. I barely put any time into it. So there's no channel art or anything. There's just so much going on, so much that I'm doing for my own website and stuff, and just being up on YouTube and Instagram. I spend most of my energy, I think, on Instagram and my own website, but I do videos all the time, so that's a big deal. So the cards. A few days ago, I have several different decks of cards, but a few days ago, I was told to take out this one deck that I don't usually work with a whole lot. Hey, hi Caesar, thanks for joining. I'm just drinking a little mild salsa. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually chocolate ripple. It's really good. Thanks for joining. I was just talking about numbers and 727 and codes and stuff. So I invite you to watch the beginning or the last feed I just had. And then I had to restart it because I got a phone call and it interrupted the feed and I started back again. So I'm talking about that stuff because it's delicious. What's delicious? Something's delicious. What I'm drinking, it is really delicious. If you've had it, yeah, it is delicious. I love it. I never got the chocolate before. Today I was like, I'm gonna get the chocolate. It's so good. Yeah, it's not gonna last long. I'd like to make things last, but I don't know. So, okay. The other thing that I was supposed to do tonight, going live. So we're going live. We're talking about the full moon, and I want to also talk about when there's definite shifts in your life, in your reality, when people come, when people go, when people kind of go crazy, when things just aren't going to work and have people in your life anymore, when you struggle with should you be around them, what do you do? Sorry, but my eye, like, is my eye makeup all like crazy? That would be like, I need to make sure. I'm sorry. So I'm like, the worst things happens when somebody's like, you're talking to them and their mascara is like halfway across their and my glasses are so there's glare, so that's not helping me. Anyway, I hope I look okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, so there's times when we just kind of struggle with who do we keep in our lives, who do we let go of, what's meant to be, all of these things. And I guess the message that I'm supposed to convey right now is if you're confused about people, then limit contact, and send love. So just in your mind, just especially if there's been some kind of rift, if there's been some kind of either miscommunication or sensitive emotions or just constant not seeing eye to eye, just miscommunications over and over and over again with certain people, your outlook is different from theirs, namely in the form of you're trying to be positive, you're trying to raise your vibration, you're trying to unplug from the matrix, you're trying to get in line with your soul and your spirit tribe and be as authentic as you can, and there's people around you that are very negative and on whatever level, or their energy detriments too, like their energy sucks. Okay, different things that you walk away going, oh wow, I just don't know about this working anymore or staying around this anymore. This could be family members, best friends, where you work, co-workers, relationships, whatever. And the only way to actually get a handle on that is to spend less time, if you can, and when you do come into contact, see how these little exchanges are. You can kind of test them out. And if they're always aggressive, if they're always trying, and if you can identify every single time, almost, if not always, every single time, then almost every single time I communicate or talk with this person or have any kind of contact with them whatsoever, it's just negative. It's either negative about themselves, it's either negative about what we're doing or what just happened or where we're going or what. It's just negative, negative, negative. If there's a lot of that, then that is not good, and you need to stay away from that as much as possible. I think that goes without saying, but sometimes we just let things slide and let things slide. And I learned a while back that of course, it's not one and done with me, but at the same time, it's close to that. I don't have a lot of fuse in the patients department when it comes to dealing with people who are mostly negatively charged, because they, especially when they're not aware how negatively charged they are, and most people aren't. And then I will try a couple of tactics in trying to see if they're able to go positive. But I won't give it a whole lot of energy, because most likely it's not going to work. And so my energy is better served elsewhere, with people who are actually already on a higher frequency and trajectory with where they're at, and more in line with where I am. I mean, it's okay to be there and help rise people up, but it's not okay to be with people that keep pulling you down, because pretty soon, if you keep trying to help somebody who's drowning and they keep pulling you down, you're going to drown too. So that don't do it. Either say, hey, let me pull you up, or stop pulling me down. You just cannot deal with that. Screw it. And it doesn't matter who that person is in your life. You can't go, okay, well, I would do that, but they're my fill in the blank with whatever family member or, associate or best friend or whomever it is that may you be associated with. It really doesn't matter who that person is. And sometimes the closer they are to you in a familiar kind of way, the worse it can be, more detrimental it can be, because you're closer tied. And if that's the case, or if they're maybe somebody that you're still involved with, that you were more romantic with, but you guys are just, it's really hard to disattach and stuff, then energetic cords need to be cut. And that is really important for your overall well-being, because people can still tap into you even if they're not in your life, and take from your energy even when they're nowhere around you. Just like I can heal across the world, people can do the opposite across the world. So without you even really knowing, most people have no idea that this is happening to them when I talk to them. And then I explain how it works, and they go, oh my gosh, this is exactly it. This is exactly what's happening. And it can kind of freak people out. Anyway, you can read more about that. It's called cord cutting if you're not familiar with it. I also talk about it on my website. I offer it as a healing service as well, because sometimes you have to do it over and over again. Sometimes you actually need a healer to help you, because the person who is attached is really attached and does not want to let go. So that's a whole other story. For now, though, hello. For now, though, I wanted to pull out these cards, and I've been over and over and over shown the vision of these cards. And when that happens, there's a very specific message, because I don't use these cards very often. So let me get them. Hold on one second. I haven't used them in so long. I'm like, where are they? Oh, here they are. Okay. So the cards that I use for the most part when I do my readings are Angel Tarot. But I also use the Wild Unknown Tarot. That's what that one looks like. My cards are somewhere, but anyway, I'm not using those ones either. The ones that I'm using are these. They're called Shadowscapes Tarot. As you can see, they're pretty small. And they're really pretty. So that's the back of them. And they use fairies and angels and all the stuff that I'm about. So this deck was, I was guided to it, and just like I'm like, well, pretty much everything. And I really like it, except for, okay, I'm going to show you. Oh, look at, on the very top, we have the Hanged Man. We're not doing the reading yet, but I'm just going to show you some of the imagery if you can see that. I wish I could focus. Am I married or single? I am single. So the pictures of these cards are really, really pretty. And what is significant and why I needed to do this reading, or use these cards, I should say, is because there is a little there's a little thing that goes on in these cards that I noticed. Oh, well, that's a card we're going to use. When they start to fly out and pop and stuff, that's the cards we use, basically. So hold on. Four of Wands. It's much better on YouTube, actually, because you can really see. Sorry, I'm showing both YouTube and Instagram. So we have Four of Wands. So, there we go. Kind of see that. There are, they look kind of like whimsical gazelles. And we're on this bed of roses, and they're going straight up. And there's a whole bunch of fairies up in the sky. So we have Four of Wands there. But aside from that, there's, with these cards, something that I noticed a while back, which was the red sash. And the red sash is really quite telling in these cards. And that's a artistic reference to things. Oh, here we go. Red sash. So, and here we are on the full moon, and we've got the moon. Moon card. And there is that red sash. So as I'm talking about it, there it is. She's wearing it, and it's also, so they're kind of double on this card, on this moon card. And you know, it's interesting. The moon always comes up when I'm doing a moon reading without fail. So we got the moon. Okay, so we got 4 of Wands, or that would, yeah, 4 of Wands, and then we have the moon. And then we have 2 of Cups. So 2 of Cups is a very romantic type of card. Also is the Ace of Cups, but so we have the moon, and the moon is the number, oh yeah, that's the other, so the moon is the number 17 card. And then we have the 2 of Cups. And that sash came up too. And let's see what else pops. So here we go. And I just like to shuffle like this until I'm told something different of what to do. So I just got whoa. I just got a chunk of cards all at the same time. Hi. I don't know if anybody's here because it's telling me nobody's here, but I think people are here. So we got a bunch of cards at the same time. We got the Star. This is the wait a second. What did I call them? Hold on a second. Okay, sorry. The moon card is the 18th card. I thought that sounded weird. Then the star is the 17. So we have 17 and 18. We have the star and the moon. We have the 7 of Cups. And I'm not even kidding you guys. I almost every single time I work with this deck, this card comes up. It was the first card I ever saw of this deck. And I'm not sure how focused that you guys can see that, but it's really pretty. 7 of Cups. So we have the 2 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. So there's our 27. And I spent the first hour of my whatever business here talking about 27 and the significance of this full moon and today, tomorrow happening. For people who are just joining us, we also have the 4. Oh, we had the 4 of Wands. Okay. And then the Strength card. So this is the 8th card in the Major Arcana. So we have another Major Arcana card. This is the Strength card. Usually depicted with some kind of lion thing happening. Very thematic with strength and lions. So there's a lion and a maiden or a fairy. Oh, no, that is an angel. And I swear if these cards were just a bit bigger, it would be a little easier to see. And then we have the Lovers. So we have the moon for our full moon reading. The moon, the star, the Lovers, strength. 2 of Cups, 7 of Cups, and 4 of Wands. here we have the sash with the levers, and you can see it. Where is it? If you guys can see it, the two doves are carrying a crown, and it's in a red sash. So and then okay, that one doesn't have a red sash. The moon does. Okay, so we have the moon, the levers. And like I said at the top of this, the red sash was very important. And the reason why I needed to use these specific cards was to see what came up. I keep dropping these cards. What are you guys doing? My doves are up there. So oh, nope, there it is. Here it is again. It's hidden. They hide. You have to search because they're tiny. And there's the cat. Oh, gosh, I wish this thing would focus. It's hard to see it. I'm sorry. I'll show YouTube. YouTube's will be easier because I actually have an HD camera. So hopefully you can see that, but it's a cat playing with it's like a necklace with a crystal on it. And this is the strength card. So this is the third card with the red sash. And if you were to Google the red sash in religious artistry, it'll come up. It's very significant. So, because I had to do that. I didn't know. I wasn't brought up with religion, really. So there's a lot of things that about religion and the Bible and stuff that are really obvious to some people. And to me, it's not, because I don't have that experience. So when I started to become Angel, come here, come, Lucky. When I started to become really aware of what I was seeing, and I keep seeing the imagery of this red sash over and over and over again, there's something tied into that. I mean, let me show you something, to the point where as I kept seeing this red sash thing come up, not just in these tarot cards, but in other things, and I will show you an example of that I was just getting naturally guided to. This is another drawing or illustration, and I found this online. This artist, you should look him up. He is on Instagram and he's really awesome. Daniel Watts. But you can see that it's not supposed to have these dark spots. It got wet. So anytime you see that, it's like wet, and it's kind of faded. It was like the next day after I started being really aware of the red sash thing. And it wasn't just in the cards. It was when I went to a store. It was pictures I was looking at. It was just all sorts of, this is how it happens. It's not just here and there. It's here and there and everywhere in all sorts of different ways that you cannot miss it. And I remember going, what in the heck with this red sash thing? What's the deal? Yeah. So, okay, so with that said, I'm going to move on here. Okay, so Four of Wands, the Star, Strength, the Lovers, the Moon, Four of Wands. Okay, okay, so I'm going to shuffle just a little bit more. There we go, perfect time. Angel and oh, there goes another card. Three of Cups. So we have 2, 3, and 7 of Cups. Queen of Swords. And Chariot. So that's talking about movement. We're at an hour and 23 minutes into my YouTube feed. So I get really tingly. I'm like, sometimes my face itches because I get so tingly. It's just a lot of cards in the major arcana here so far. The Lovers, the Moon, Strength, the Star, and the Chariot. So I'm hearing movement, new energies, new relationships, or rekindling, coming together. Vulnerability, but that's okay. Romantic partnerships are romantic partnerships are crystallizing. And friendships are gonna feel more like meeting a long lost brother or sister more than friend. Feeling really intense reunions, and when I say reunions, it could be soul reunions, not just in this carnation reunion, but soul level, soul family type reunions. Okay, so they're telling me to keep going. And I think we're not. Oh, it just flipped. I don't know if you guys could see that. I have it like Willow. I'm just like tired. It is 9:37. I've been up since what time today? 5 something. Sorry. I think this is the Ace of Cups. Oh no, it's the Eight of Cups. Yeah, that makes more sense. It's the Eight of Cups. So, just so there's a lot of cups, right? I mean, we have wands. We have four of wands. But if it wasn't for that, it would be all cups at this point. Eight of Cups, Seven of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Cups. Water. That's water. Beverage. Okay. We are pull a card. Another card of the Major Arcana. This one is in reverse, and it's the Hermit. And it's funny, the last reading that I did for 8/8, we got the Hermit in reverse then too. I am pretty sure. And basically what this meant is, and what this means now, and especially in reverse, is that is over. Being the hermit is over. What I call hermitizing. When you're most comfortable at home by yourself, most of the time. Hermitizing. Hermitizing. We have so many cards. We have no more hermit. We have the star. We have the moon. We have strength, and we have the lovers. We have, what is this? The chariot as well. Holy moly. This is a lot of major arcana cards. Hello. I'm doing a reading. Not sure who's exactly here and who's not. It keeps giving me different numbers. But I keep getting cards for the major arcana, and the last one that just came up is the Hermit. So we have the Hermit, the Chariot, whoops, the Chariot, the Lovers, the Moon, because of course it's the full moon. So of course the Moon card popped. It was the first card to pop for the major arcana. And then we have Strength and the Star. And we also have a lot of cups, a lot of water in this reading, which really doesn't surprise me given all the water business going on. 2, 3, 7, and 8 of cups. So there's a lot there, but also the 27. So what I am feeling we need to look at this 4 of Wands a little bit more. This was the first card that came up, and I was just told, let's take a closer look. This really stands out because it's all by itself, basically. So this deck of tarot cards, the Shadowscapes, I'm going to show the box one more time. It's called the Shadowscapes Tarot. Wow. Pretty magical deck. Most decks are, but I don't take this one out unless I'm really guided to. It's not the first one I go to by any means, and it only gets attention when it I don't know how to put this, when there is a very specific type of message to convey. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but that's just what it is. So anyway, the only thing with this deck is that it comes with a really, really small guidebook. But it usually doesn't matter. So we're the 4 of Wands, it says, and you can take a look at that while I read it. I will try to do a good job of that. But here we go. Celebration. Initial successes have brought hope and joy to the air. There is harmony and peace to be had. However, once attained, this prosperity must be maintained as well. So this was the first card that popped up. So with this full moon, there's a lot of energies for advancement, for success, for all this stuff. So this is just saying that there's a boost with this new full moon energy. And that's what that typically means with full moons, is that we're bringing into reality what we've been thinking about doing. So new moon is about thinking and manifesting and putting into action what you want to do and how you want things to be like in your mind. And then full moon comes in to kind of get that popping. This is saying that coming up with all of these other really dynamic cards in the major arcana. I mean, there's a big old chunk of them. The moon came up first, so there you go. We got the moon card that popped first for the major arcana with that sash. Actually, there's the mask. The cool thing that I love about these cards, and when I'm told to use these cards, is that the imagery And if you guys can get whoever's watching this, whether you're in real time or not, if you want to, because it's going to take me a little bit of time to take photos of all these cards and post them, because I will. But if you're able to hop online and look at and get photos, go to images for Google, look up, put Shadowscapes, the moon card, and it should come up so you can take a much better look at it than I can give you here. But the other reason why I was told to use this particular deck was because the red sashes. And there's only kind of so much that I can bring in at a time like this, just because like if you and I were doing a reading just for you, it would be different, because I kind of don't feel as strange going, hold on, while I'm, you know, tapping in and stuff. And I do spend a good amount of time physically looking at the card, because as I'm guided to notice things, more things come up. But with the Hanged Man and the Moon and the Star and Strength and Lovers and Chariot and the Upside Down Hermit, which the Hermit is already upside down. So when the Hermit is upside down, the Hermit is right side up and not hermiting anyone. So we got that all straight. Okay, so next what we're going to do is cups. So we're going to go in order. We're going to go Two of Cups. And I want to read this to you guys so you can get a good idea here what we're looking at. And me too, actually. So, Two of Cups. Where are you? Making a connection, a union, a partnership. It is the bringing together of opposites and the potential for bonding. It is a relationship. It's pretty clear there. Relationship. So we not only have the Two of Cups, but to reinforce it in a really big way, we have the Lovers as well. So let's just jump right into the Lovers. There it is. Okay, the Lovers. Union, balance, energy flow, love, desire, passion, melding of heart and mind, forming a union or marriage. The Lovers is also about determining values and struggling with choices. The pure simplicity of a calla lily contracts the sensual complexity of the rose. Calla lilies are definitely, that's a really good example, actually. Okay, so people are coming together. We have the Lovers and we have the Two of Cups. So we're going to go to the Three of Cups. I'm jumping around a little bit just because I'm being told to. I don't know what to tell you. A call to celebration, dancing and singing. Friendship is the key component, and companionship, relying on others and developing community. Oh, I said team sport. I was like, what? Team spirit. So that is Three of Cups. That is Three of Cups. So if you can, just by what we have here so far, it's pretty thematic. They usually are. We're going to move on to Seven of Cups. I only have a minute and 48 seconds left in my feed. How rude. So Seven of Cups is a little bit different. Indulging in fantasies, you have too many options to choose from with so many paths that the task becomes daunting. There are overwhelming desires and unlimited possibilities. So sometimes we can feel like that, especially during these big shifts energetically. We can feel kind of frozen, and at the same time, like, just because there's so much going on and we're pulled in all these different directions energetically. I know that I could definitely relate to that as a physical empath who's anchoring and transmuting for the collective. Yeah, that is definitely an issue that a lot of light workers have. I'm just going to go until time runs out. We have okay, so that was Three of Cups, and then Seven of Cups, and then Eight of Cups. Real quick, Eight of Cups. Delve within for personal discovery and answers. Turn away and disengage from the material world, and instead seek spiritual wonders. Well, welcome. That's what we're doing. Spiritual wonders. So basically, let go of logic and dive into the unexplained. That is the lesson for that card. Okay, so I'm going to lose you guys here. I don't even think anybody's here. I'm going to take a look at these cards. Oops. Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay, so then we have all these major arcana cards. Well, I guess I should just. Okay. You should make sure at 144.04. That was hilarious. Okay, so I'm going to look at these cards a little bit. I'm going to end this stream, and if I feel that we should come back and take a deeper look at these cards, I will. Other than that, you can check out my website. Thank you, nobody, for joining me. I really appreciate it. No, people were on Instagram. That was really cool. Hopefully soon we'll have more people joining me on YouTube, and we'll just be on YouTube because having two going on is a bit much, but for right now I kind of am doing that because I'm a little bit forced to. Anyway, thank you though if you're watching this, and for joining me. I appreciate it. Bye.